I've wanted to explain to you what's happening with my channel for a while, but whenever I start writing those kind of statements like this, I always get lost in the complexity of it. Because without giving some context to it, such an announcement is going to result in a lot of tarring and feathering. For example, I'm not going to play Long War 2 anymore. I'm not going to start any new YouTube XCOM series anytime soon. I'm not going to touch XCOM 2 at all anymore for the foreseeable future. And finally, the video content that I will be uploading to this channel is largely going to be of games that aren't XCOM. And those videos are often going to come probably from my Twitch streaming, like VODs and highlights, which is, Twitch streaming is something I want to focus on and improve even more from now on. These are all statements that will disappoint people, make them angry, and without any context, even more so. But if I dip into every part of the practical, emotional, and historical past context surrounding why I'm making these statements and why they're true, it's going to go for like half an hour. So we're just going to try and do this as quickly and cleanly as I can, so that you can get back to whatever you were doing a minute ago. We're going to address a few major questions I think the majority of people have, and then I'm going to make you all an offer that you can leave a comment on this video asking whatever question you like, and I'll pick some questions to respond to in a follow-up video, as you do. So let's start with the most recent. Why is Beagle not going to play more Long War 2? Why is Beagle not playing Long War 2? Well, like I said, I'm not going to go into depth, because I don't want it to go forever, so to put it quite simply and just brisk across the surface, I don't like it. I love OG XCOM, I love Enemy Unknown, I love Long War 1. At first I loved XCOM 2, but the more I played it, getting more campaigns in past the first one, the more I realized it felt very samey to me. It had some serious replayability problems, burned straight into its soul, into its DNA, that I'm still waiting to see overcome by modders. And Long War 2 didn't overcome these problems for me, is the problem. There are some key parts of Long War 2 that I specifically didn't like as well, that I specifically disliked. I thought the infiltration system, for example, was an overcomplication of fatigue that made mission balancing way too DIY for the player, in a way that just made the whole thing unintuitive and hard to evaluate yourself after success or victory, success or failure, or to really know where to go based on the feedback that the game was given to you. I think its emphasis on stealth focused on, honestly, the most boring part of XCOM 2, while marginalizing its best gameplay. I think the stealth is almost non-existent in quality of gameplay, whereas it's really not really there, whereas combat is the game, so I didn't like that. And I just think it failed to inform the player enough of a lot of important changes that it made from the vanilla game, like how, flamethrowers in Long War 2 now stop ranged enemies from shooting you, but you don't know that, they don't tell you that, and I know there's problems with, they'd tell you that if they could, but there's problems with localization and stuff, it costs money, 2K and etc. But I'm just saying, as a mod, as presented as a product, I didn't like that a lot. It felt very unintuitive for me. But most importantly, beyond all of that, Long War 2 just didn't fix what I felt was broken about XCOM 2 itself as a vanilla game. The scripted predictableness, the sameness, the timers diluting the gameplay, the quick over before they start fights like we're back in vanilla, Enemy Unknown again. After so much Long War 1 and enjoying that so much, this just isn't the kind of gameplay I'm interested in XCOM. It just isn't. And if there's one thing that I've learned about doing this as a job, YouTube, Twitch, whatever, it's that when your job is people watching you enjoy a game, you can't fake that enjoyment, at least not for long. Either they're going to notice, the viewers are going to notice you're faking it, and they're not going to like that, or you're going to hate yourself for doing it, and, you're not fooling yourself. You know if you're enjoying something, whether you have to force it or not. Or both. And neither of those are conducive to making good content. And well, that's the case for me anyway. So Long War 2 just isn't something I'm going to keep playing. I just don't really like playing it. I don't really enjoy it. And that's coming from someone who loved Long War 1 a lot. It's just not the same gameplay for me. And I'm not saying, I'm sure they intended it to be different. I'm just saying I personally don't like the way it is. I've got my eye on a favorite up-and-coming project mod for XCOM 2, Guerrilla War, you've heard me talk about a lot here and there, I'm sure, that I think is going to be a huge game changer for XCOM 2. And when it gets closer to being playable, that's something you'll see, but until then, I'm probably not going to spend much time on XCOM 2 at all. It has some great cosmetics and great cool mods and stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff with XCOM 2, but just as a foundation, there's just some foundational problems just baked into the core of that game that really just kill it for me compared to, playing Long War 1. So, not something you're going to see a lot of for the foreseeable future for right now. But like I said, I still love Long War 1, so let's hit up another big question. Why is Beagle not continuing live and impossible? I forgot how to. I took a break from LNI like over a year ago after I felt quite burned out. And then XCOM 2 arrived as I was leaving that sort of burnout stage and about to get back into it. XCOM 2 arrived and it just stole the show. And it was all XCOM 2, no XCOM 1. And the real problem is, a lot of that old information and experience I developed, that all that instinct started getting pushed out. The multiple years straight I spent playing Long War 1, all that constant learning and adapting to the AI in the game, consciously and more importantly subconsciously in my decisions, I started to forget. I didn't feel as on my game when I went back to Long War. I felt rusty when I went back to it, understandably. It's a demanding game, especially on Impossible. Long War 1's demanding, it's challenging, that's part of why it's so fun to play. And a lot of that instinct, I kind of had forgotten. And it's like riding a bike, you get it back as you go, but the problem is, I'm planning to play Long War 1 again anyway, but the problem is, LNI itself is a campaign already in progress. Now, I already don't want to screw up a campaign I've spent so much time and love and effort on, like LNI, but add on to that the thousands, tens of thousands of people who want to see a victory in that campaign and see all their favorite heroes make it home safely, and it's not just me I'm playing for, it's everyone out there watching. So when I see that late game terror mission, and I can barely even remember how to play Long War 1, I just freeze up, I don't want to play it, I'm scared. I don't get to relearn it by trial and error and then just reload the game after I mess up and go again. Like, if I make one big mistake with the LNI campaign, that's it. You get one shot. It could go down the toilet just like that. And I don't want to let that happen. And even less than I want to lose that campaign, I especially don't want to lose it to a dumb mistake that I'm just going to look back on and go, wow, that was just really dumb. So, what's going to happen with LNI? Like I said, I'm already planning to play Long War 1 again anyway on my stream. I'm going to be doing that again, bringing back Thursday Night XCOM, which I'm sure even if you hadn't attended, you've heard of. You've seen my announcement videos for it a while back. A little bit more on that in a second. And I'm going to bring back Thursday Night XCOM with a vengeance. I'm going to put a lot of effort, love, time, and care and production value into it. Try and get it better than it's ever been. And I'm going to start a new Long War 1.0 campaign on that. And hopefully through that, I'll, get that experience back, get back on the bicycle, remember how things work, reactivate all those synapses I haven't fired in years for Long War 1, and when I feel ready, that's when I'll get back on Live and Impossible. No sooner, no later, no rush. I'm not going to be affected by any peer pressure. I'm not going to make any unnecessary mistakes. If you're a fan who's just been waiting to see that campaign continue, I hope you can appreciate the reasoning behind my care that I'm taking with that campaign. But make no mistake, I still love Long War 1, and that campaign is very special to me, and it's because it's so special to me is why I'm so antsy to really do anything with it until I feel really comfortable with it. So that's two big questions down, and if you want to know more detail about either of them, I did brisk over them. Remember, you can just send in a question for me to answer in the comments, and I'll pick some out and reply to them in a follow-up. But there's some other stuff to address here. So let's get through some more common queries real quick. Why do you upload so infrequently? Because a combination of bad time management, lack of interest, and an increase in my real-world responsibilities, and let me go into detail on that. So, when I first started making videos, I was just a pure stay-at-home hermit, just living off an allowance with no real-life friends, around, no girlfriend, no pets, no nothing. I'm not going out doing anything. I would just find a game I liked, like Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, the AMK mod, or, Dead Space, well, not Dead Space so much, but, games I really enjoyed. Natural Selection 2, Chivalry, games like that. And I would just play it 16 hours a day for a month straight, and then I'd move on to the next game. I would just completely just lose myself in whatever game I wanted. I would just do that all day, and that's all I did. That was my life. And I did that with XCOM, Enemy Unknown, when it came out as well. And that's obviously how I started to get some experience of it and pick up how to play. I was terrible when I first started at XCOM, but you put in enough time. Especially offline, off-stream, just immersing yourself in it. I really love to play games. I love to stream games, I love to show people games, but I love to play them offline because that's when I'm alone with my thoughts. That's when I can really learn a game. It's when I can go, okay, I can just take my time, just think about every decision. And so anyway, I did this with XCOM, and then I made some videos about it because I loved it, and well, the rest is history. People really liked that, and before I knew it, I was kind of an XCOM channel. But since then, a lot has happened. I met the perfect partner for me, and it's not an exaggeration to say I'll be spending the rest of my life with her. And with her, I started paying my own bills, handling my own income, buying furniture, moving house, bringing home pets. I started doing more in my life, and it led to a couple of common realizations that there's only so many hours in the day, and that the further away you get from being a man-child, the more those hours are going to be in demand. But like I said, time is only half of it, so why a lack of interest? Put simply, I'm not a one-game kind of guy. I've been playing games for more than 20 years, since I was about 5 years old or something, thanks to my brother. And I've never stuck to just one. I've enjoyed many different games over many different genres, and I continue to do so. And when it comes to making videos, I'm much the same. I don't like to just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And you can already see the problem. Because XCOM plays in campaigns, once you start one, there's an expectation you're going to finish it. You don't really do a one-off XCOM video in people's minds. The first few Live and Impossibles, it's new to me, it's something different. I'm trying a new style, a new format. But you get over 100 Live and Impossibles in, and it's become more like a factory line in a creative process to me. I try to throw in new things here and there, to jazz it up for myself, but at the end of the day, it's very much chopping up a sausage and sending it off, at a certain point with that kind of thing. And that's a problem because I do really enjoy playing that campaign, but that's where some of a lack of interest can come for things like long-standing running campaigns like Live and Impossible for me, is that, I can play it, but then, from an editing perspective, just because there's no editing, unfortunately, it does take time. You've got to go through all the footage to make sure it's all good, there's no glitches, what glitches there are marginalized, audio levels are balanced, take out, things you need to take out here and there. And it's just unfortunate that it starts to feel like a lot of a chore, which is not at all what you want when you're doing creative work. You don't want it to start to feel like you're working at McDonald's or you're in a cubicle doing accounts or something, because once you take the passion out of doing something creative, you're really going to lose what makes people like you in the first place and what makes people enjoy your content, which is very important to me. So, that is the big deal. Because XCOM plays in campaigns, I can't do things like of other games as easily where I just, make a throwaway video, not throwaway, but make a one-off video about a game, and there not be any expectation for more. Just go, I'll try something different, try this game, try that game. With XCOM, it's very scary to start a new campaign of XCOM live that people are watching, because then, for whatever reason I just decide I want to do something else, try something different, not continue that campaign for the next 3 or 4 months of my life, well, tough luck. That's what people expect me to do, and if you keep not doing what people expect you to do in that case, well, you get a reputation as someone who doesn't finish campaigns, which I have certainly got at this point, I think. And that's unfortunate. I like to look at the Iron Man Impossible videos. I enjoy making those a lot of creative enjoyment for me out of those. And, I don't think I'd want to be pressured into making more of them. I don't think I'd want to be pressured into going, well, I've made one Iron Man Impossible, now I'm going to make 140 for the rest of this long war campaign, If I do them again in the future, which I'm sure I will at some point, because I think they're such an interesting format, and they're kind of the natural evolution of the more effort you're going to put in to an XCOM campaign, I wouldn't want to feel like I'd want to feel like I can do one, and if I feel like doing more, I'll do more, and if I don't, I don't, and it's a shame, because I don't like disappointing people, and I think if I was to do that, you just can't get away from the fact people are always going to expect, another shitload until the victory has happened. That's a shame. But anyway, I'm going on a tangent, and I do have to apologize for going on a tangent, but like I said, it's difficult. It was difficult for me to do this in a very scripted or rehearsed way, because it always just ended up being over complex and just a mess and a marsh of the mind and just too much and a mental maze. So instead, I just want to keep it casual and just kind of talk to you about how I feel very honestly, because I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. And so like I was saying, I believe very much in the sentiment that you need to feel a passion for your work to enjoy life, especially creative work, because that passion is a big part of what makes your creation worthwhile for its audience. It's not just making you enjoy your work then, it's that you want to make other people enjoy your work when you're making something creative for an audience. And that's a big part of it, I believe. And I also believe if you love something, you shouldn't need to motivate yourself so much to do it. It's not something I've consciously realized until recently, but there's 2 important things I've understood as recently as a few days ago. And that's that I don't think I can be a churn 'em out Let's Player on YouTube, that's for sure. And on the other hand, I really love live streaming. Speaking of which, let's talk about that. Why do you stream so regularly? And do you value your Twitch viewers more than your YouTube viewers? No. Honestly, I don't automatically value my viewers in general, or deity-ify them, or put them on a pedestal or anything. as an automatic. Like, if you enjoy my content, that's good, but I don't apply any particular quality or positive personality to you as a result of that. You know, I'm not going to lump you into like a... I'm not going to seriously and unironically lump you into like a club of people that are automatically better than other people because you like my content. You know what I mean? Like, if you enjoy what I do, that's great. Don't get me wrong, but you know, it doesn't make you special in any way automatically just for watching. Now, don't get me wrong, and don't take that the wrong out of context, because I do like a lot of my viewers, but it's on a case-by-case basis from how I've interacted with them, and I think that should make sense. You know, there's a lot of comments, fan mail, fan art that I really, really appreciate from all my viewers, and to be honest, I don't even feel like I've been ever particularly worthy of all of it. I've received some incredibly generous praise from people who say I've helped them in their lives in like serious, you know, important ways. I've received some amazing artwork that people have spent tons of time on, and, you know, content from people about my troops and my adventures and my other games. And I've always enjoyed a very strong and kind base of support from my audience in general that goes above and beyond what I see most channels having. And I mean that sincerely. I thank you all very, very much for being such kind supporters of me. And again, I don't even think you should be. I honestly don't deserve the level of support that I receive from you all, and I don't say that to be a martyr or to beat myself up. I just factually, from a logical point of view, don't believe that I deserve it for what it is that I do. But my point for saying all of that, and the point of going into all of that, is that while I don't value, you know, my entire subset of viewers any more than anyone else in the world, or have any more or less respect for them just automatically because they're a viewer, I do have a lot of, you know, appreciation and respect for them on a case-by-case basis where I've interacted with them so positively, and where I've seen that level of support for me. You know, I guess viewers, you know, to put it, I don't know how to put it in a less hokey way, but I guess I'm just saying, you know, viewers are just more like people for me, and that it's a case-by-case basis, and that's how it goes. And I want to address this point because it's a sentiment I've seen growing over time, you know, here and there that's upset me, that I don't like to see, because I feel like, you know, I'm causing resentment for people when I see people kind of have that sentiment that perhaps some of my YouTube viewers who are aware of how often I stream on Twitch regularly each week kind of resent that and feel that I care about them more, or I stream for them regularly and don't make videos for YouTube as much because I don't care about my YouTube audience, but I love my Twitch audience or something. And I hope, combined with my earlier explanations as to why I upload so infrequently, that people can understand there isn't like a favoritism, audience-wise or anything. There isn't any dirty business going on there that I'm trying to sneak on anyone's nose. It's just, you know, it's just the nature of what I enjoy doing and what I naturally gravitate to doing. And there's other reasons as well. That's not the long and short of it. You know, there's other reasons as well. I'm more consistent with streaming than I am when it comes to uploads. But that's, you know, outside the scope of here. And if someone's interested, I'm sure they can ask a question. And if enough people are interested and they vote it up, I'm sure I'll answer it. But, you know, I've already spent enough time on this point. But I did want to get into it because it is something that's affected me. I mean, even if I didn't realize it consciously, you know, it's kind of something I felt pressured by. Not wanting to disappoint people. I haven't been posting how I used to post stream announcement videos, letting everyone on my channel here on YouTube know that I was streaming Thursday night XCOM, you know, for probably a long time now, you know, over a year now has it been? And that's partly because I haven't, you know, I've been in a bit of a rut for the past couple of years. I haven't really felt, you know, having the energy, having the passion. I had a lot of cynicism and bitterness start to seep into what I do slowly over time, gradually to a fever pitch. So I haven't had that same pride in my work as well to be, you know, making those announcements saying, come on, you know, this will be the best thing you've ever seen, come from the YouTube channel. I've been just doing it chill, under the radar, going, you know, I'll fix my shit up, and when I'm proud of what I'm doing again, I'll be announcing again then. But it's also because, you know, when I'm not uploading videos regularly, I don't want to be posting, you know, stream announcement vids and having people go, well, all he uploads now is stream announcement vids, you know, all he uploads now is stream highlights. Even when I think people will enjoy seeing them. And that's something I need to get beyond. You know, for a long time, I've felt like, you know, doing that would just be wrong. You know, without realizing that, I was very pressured, very much falling in line with some of the extremely negative comments that I would see and get every so often. You know, people would say I was a huge asshole and I was a betrayer, and I was betraying them personally because, you know, they liked my XCOM campaigns and I wasn't uploading them anymore, and I'm spending time streaming. Why am I not giving them more of the videos they want to see? You know, they feel betrayed, they feel hurt, and I felt very bad about that. And from this point on, it's not something I can let affect me anymore. It's just not healthy, it's not sustainable. You know, speaking of which, let's wrap this up and let's have one last question, which is, what's going to happen with this channel from here on out? Well, I'm going to be more stream focused, but honestly and proudly. I've been playing a ton of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds recently, and it's honestly been some of the most fun, memorable gameplay I have had in years. In many ways, it's a return to my Arma days for me, and it feels amazing to be back, and I'm sure it'll be funny for, you know, a talk here that's very much about me not wanting to disappoint XCOM viewers. I'm sure it'll be funny for any of the Arma people still sticking around from way back, from years ago, to kind of hear that, you know, because they were the original people who had the stuff they wanted to see stop coming. And of course I left Shack you know, years ago as well, so that didn't help that kind of thing, obviously. But yeah, I mean, for me, I've just been loving it. It's been a game I've been loving to play. It's a game I've honestly been waiting years to play without knowing it was coming. I haven't had a game, you know, I've been just looking for a game to play for a couple of years now that I really felt passionately about, apart from Long War 1. And there's been a few, and I love For Honor as well, but that's got its problems right now. But I love For Honor. There's been a few games, don't get me wrong, but this just feels so right. I love Battlegrounds, and I want to play a lot of it. And it's a return to my Arma days in a way for me, which is great. I love playing it with my partner as well, Jamble, who we played a lot of Arma together. It's been amazing for us in duo. It's been amazing in solo. I love it. So there's going to be, you know, more of a focus for me on Twitch, because I've realized that's what I really enjoyed doing. There's going to be, you know, stream announcement videos for a lot more of my streams, not just XCOM ones. There's going to be Twitch VODs. Probably going to upload those in full to the channel here for easier watching, because I know a lot of people don't like the VODs on the Twitch player. They want to see it on YouTube. You know, when I look back at my Thursday Night XCOM campaign that went for a year, back in like 2013 to 2014 on Beta 14, that's probably the greatest XCOM campaign I ever played, you know, and it was so special because of the stream, because of sharing it with all those people. I think we had up to 2,000, 2,500 viewers for the finale. And it was just so fun, so memorable for me, so many great memories. And I'm really sad that I didn't locally record it. I would love to have shared that on YouTube, and I'm not going to make that mistake again. You know, like I said, I was always scared, I always felt pressured not to be uploading stuff like that. I think of the viewers going, oh, here it is, you know, there's 7 stream announcement videos a week, and he's just uploading these giant, unedited, hour-long VODs from his streams, and we don't care, we just want Iron Man Impossible, or we just want Live and Impossible, we don't want to see his Twitch, you know. And I'm really sad that I didn't do that with Thursday Night XCOM. I wish I could go back and watch that whole campaign from start to finish. I truly wish, you know, it's something I really deeply regret that is kind of lost to the winds now, and no one has anymore. Because it was great. And thinking about that really made me realize, you know, as I talk now about how I kind of want to focus more on Twitch, not abandoning this YouTube channel, but honestly admitting I want to focus more on Twitch to myself, you know, and then to my viewers as well, in the second place. You know, I've had a lot of great times in Live and Impossible as well in my YouTube content, but honestly, if I have to weigh them up, honestly, which I haven't done until a few days ago, I never consciously did, I've just had such an amazing time streaming XCOM. It doesn't compare, you know, it's been so amazing for me. So many great memories, so much great time live that I want to do that again. And this time around, I want to share it with everyone here, you know, I want to be able to bring those VODs here, and I'm sure some people will legitimately be annoyed by a lot of VODs, a lot of announcement videos, yada yada. But I can't really let that affect me, I think. I'm just gonna... I really just have to get over that wish, that desire we all have to please everyone at once. Because I think it's very unhealthy for me, you know, to keep having those kind of regrets where I go, I wish I'd done that, I wish I'd done this. I think if I'm doing anything like streaming, you know, I should be proud enough of it to be, you know, putting it out there for everyone who follows me to see, not just going, well, I'll just stream this without an announcement video for my Twitch viewers, and, you know, I'll give the YouTube viewers something I think they'll like, you know, in a week from now. I don't think I should be doing that. I should just be doing something that I think everyone who follows me is going to enjoy. And if people, you know, end up not enjoying that, you know, different direction, they're free to go, you know, in that sense. So yeah, there'll be XCOM Long War 1 VODs, of course, from my campaign I'm going to start next week when I bring back Thursday Night XCOM. But for a while, there won't be a lot of other XCOM content going on, I don't think. Live and Impossible, like I said, it's not going to be back until I feel ready for it, and that could be a while. I don't know when I'm going to feel ready to tackle late game Long War 1 Beta 14, you know, again. I don't know when I'm going to feel ready to not fuck up, but when I do, I'll be back for it, and no sooner, no later. After my realization, you know, that I just talked about, that I was starting to hate depending on offline Let's Plays, and I loved doing live streaming, I'm unlikely to start any new offline YouTube-only campaigns for a while. But most importantly for me, I'm just going to be doing purely what I enjoy, and that's, going to be for the first time in a long time, I think. I mean, I've made decisions around this channel based on not making people react negatively for a long time now, in ways that I was consciously aware of, and also in ways that I wasn't consciously aware of. I mean, it's the simplest advice to say you can't pander to your crowd, and you gotta do what you want to do, and, for years I've kind of thought I was doing that mostly, but, as you kind of analyze yourself more and you realize what you like doing, what you don't like doing, what people expect you to do, but what you don't actually end up wanting to do, you kind of realize maybe you're lying to yourself a little bit, and I think, I don't want to make, that sounds very drastic, I don't want to make it sound like I hate doing YouTube and I'm not going to do it anymore. YouTube for me, I love doing videos like Apocalypse Now from the XCOM 2 campaign, like the War Game trailer I did a while back, Hindsight. I love doing music montages, I love doing Iron Man Impossibles, which are really tightly scripted and edited for time, 10 minutes of jam-packed TV quality, okay, I'm not TV quality, but going for that TV quality kind of scripted content quality. I love doing stuff like that, and I don't so much love doing, really live, unedited stuff on YouTube, because it just makes me feel, well, I could just be streaming this and probably having even more fun with this. So, direction-wise for the channel, probably more stuff I'll be uploading onto here will be like montages, apart from the VODs and highlights and announcement vids. Probably more montages, music, stuff I'm really proud of, stuff I put a lot of time into, edited, tightly knit stuff, maybe some Iron Man Impossibles in the future, is more likely what I want to be doing with this channel. But yeah, I mean, I really have to start making decisions around this channel based on not making people just react negatively in my head, subconsciously or otherwise. I mean, for example, for the longest time, for years, even when I have other games I've been really enjoying, I've been very wary about uploading anything unless I'm also uploading XCOM regularly at the same time, because I dread all those comments I always get of, why are you giving us this when all we want to see is XCOM type comments, those... I mean, obviously those are gonna bother me if I let them get to me. It's always a shame, if when I was enjoying Metal Gear Solid 5 or something, I was very wary of doing that because, I put up a video and I like it, I enjoy it, I think it's good, and it always sucks to see when someone kind of just go, out of hand, like they're not really thinking about it. Yeah, well, great, but fuck this, where's the XCOM? This is kind of shitty. And for better or worse, I'm just not going to be paying attention to that as much anymore, at all, really, anymore. I'll be doing what I like with the channel, and I hope you like it. If you don't owe me anything, and there's no ill will if you're not going to stick around to see what I do next. Like I said earlier, I don't think I even deserve the support I have, but if people feel hurt or betrayed or slighted because I'm not going to focus on XCOM, I'm sad to do that to them, but at the same time that's their right, and I won't be grasping at them to stay. Because ultimately, the decisions I've made around this channel have never really been about getting more success or more money so much as, I've just been trying to minimize people's disappointment and minimize the amount, I disappoint or hurt or anger them as much as I can because I like them. Like I said about my Thursday Night XCOM campaigns, my Live and Impossible campaigns, fan art and support, sharing my experiences with all of you has taken my love for gaming to another level that, I'm lucky to be able to have over the past few years. And as time went by and I felt like more and more like there was a big audience watching every move I made, I've never wanted to let any of you down. And at this point, I think it's time I just accept that pleasing everyone is something I just can't keep chasing. It's just very unhealthy. The people who I'm going to disappoint are going to be disappointed nonetheless if I can't bring myself to be, what they want me to be. And the people who are going to be happy to watch me do whatever I want to do are being let down because I'm not being honest with myself. I'm not pushing the kind of content, kind of direction I want to do. So I'm just sitting here stalled, frozen in a rut, not doing anything. And that's the worst of both worlds. I can't please everyone, but right now I'm pleasing no one, and that's even worse. So, yeah, I mean, if people feel let down for me taking things in different directions or not sticking to a single direction that they personally like the most, they're going to feel let down. What matters to me from here on out is that I do what I want to do, that I provide entertainment, that I'm very passionate about providing it in whatever way I do it, and that the people who stick around to watch it are having their time well spent, that I can know that if someone watches something I'm doing, their time is well spent. Whenever they tune into my videos or my streams, I want to know that I'm not wasting their time. Like with this long rambling explanation, which I'm sure is wasting the time of a lot of people. I tried to front load the most important stuff at the front so people could hear, okay, he's not doing this, he's not doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this. Okay, 2 minutes, I'm done. Bye, I'm not listening to the rest. And I hope anybody who has enough time to listen to another half hour of rambling I assume they're invested enough to actually care about the rambling. So I hope we get the best of both worlds here. But, I said at the start, this was always going to end up, this always ended up long and over complex for me when I tried to sort of script a more scripted, less casual, announcement-ish vid about it, and why in the past, you can see why, I've tried to do this, for probably the past year or so. You try and come up with a nice way to say this to everyone. Because I talk to people on Twitch about this all the time. This isn't new. This isn't like a tell-all. This isn't like a TMZ exclusive. I've been talking to people on my Twitch streams about these concepts for a very long time, for a couple of years, or a year and a half at least, all throughout XCOM 2 for sure. And I've been talking to people on Twitter, I talk to people in everywhere. I talk to people everywhere but here, really, because, it's kind of funny, but I've never really opened that YouTube Q&A video kind of dialogue with people. Because as stupid as it is, I guess because I already had it on Twitter and Twitch, I just assume, people who were interested in finding that out would kind of seek me out on Twitter and ask the question there or something, but ultimately, that's just not how life works. Obviously, it's just not how it's going to play out. And it's a long time coming, I think, for me to kind of open up an honest and just casual and just relaxed kind of line of communication with my YouTube audience specifically, because you guys are kind of isolated. I've got to know my Twitch audience very well for the past 2 or 3 or however long it's been consistent years of streaming. I've got to know some people on, from there as well on Twitter who I talk to and respond to, but I've never really had an open dialogue with you guys. And that's, I think, always manifested itself as a lot of people saying, there are always people who'd be disappointed in no XCOM, but I think a lot of people have just been always saying, I've always appreciated, we'll watch what you want to do. You don't have to do what you don't want to do, but we just want to hear from you. We just want to know what's going on. We just don't want to be confused. So I think it's a long time coming. I'm sorry it took me so long to kind of do something like this, but I hope you can understand why I've kind of started at it recently in the past, gone, oh my god, this is a mental maze, and stopped and just pushed it away for a while, but here we are finally doing it. It ended up as a huge rambling mess, which is why I usually went, oh, it's a mental maze, and stopped doing it in the past. This time I just went, it's never going to happen if I don't just do a huge rambling mini podcast of my emotional, historical, practical, contextual thoughts on everything. It's just never going to get released. So all I'm going to do is just take this, put it on, a still image with some animations to keep your little monkey brain interested the longer you stick around, and that's going to be it. It's not a perfect way to put it out there, but it's finally going to get out there, and people can finally hear it and absorb it. So as imperfect as it is, let's cut things here for right now, before we go on for absolutely forever. If you have questions for me, ask them in the comments. I'll pick some to reply to in a follow-up video, and it's probably something, if successful, I'll probably continue to do on the reg. Just something as simple as this, just reading questions, answering them, because, it's always felt silly to me to do a Q&A video, because like I said, I have those other lines of communication I'm always answering questions and talking to people on, but, you guys really aren't part of those lines right now, and it's not as convenient for you, so here we are. So I think it'll be something good to keep going. If you're angry or you're disappointed at me, I am sorry, but more than anything, I hope people can understand my reasoning, even if they disagree with it. My explanations, I hope they can shed some light there, and I hope there's at least some people who are still excited for what comes next. I hope there's still some Arma fans from years back who'll find my Battlegrounds play familiar. I know I found it a very familiar experience, and I've really enjoyed it. It's given me a new lease on life. I love that game. I hope XCOM fans will enjoy the weekly Thursday night XCOM streams. Either live, or if you can't make the time, which I know a lot of you can't, through the VODs. I had a lot of complaints, people going, we want to watch Thursday night XCOM, but we just can't make the time. I hope, and I don't like the Twitch player, I hope putting it on YouTube, we'll try it out. I hope that'll make it easier for people to follow along, and I hope that can make, I want everyone to be one audience. I don't want to have this isolation thing going where there's resentment and there's, people feeling left out. I just, I want everyone to be able to see the same content, no matter what time in their week they can make. And I hope it's a return to form for me for XCOM. It's like I said, there's been a bit of bitterness, a bit of cynicism, a bit of burnout, losing that passion for the game through so many different reasons I could spend another 2 hours going into, but I won't. So, long story short, I feel good, and I think Thursday Night XCOM coming back is going to be a return to form for me. Let's hope, something I can be really proud of, and I hope people really, really enjoy. You know what? Considering Live and Impossible doesn't have a lot of editing anyway, they've always been quite similar, except for the time, making the time to stream thing for people to show up at the stream throughout their week, depending on their schedule. So I hope if you haven't before, that you'll take the time to check out Thursday Night XCOM for its comeback next week. And if you've never seen it before, I hope you'll enjoy it as much, if not more, than Live and Impossible if you give it a go. But ultimately, I just hope you continue to enjoy what I do enough to stick around, because even if I don't think I deserve the support I have, I do definitely appreciate it. You know, I would definitely miss it, because it's not normal. It's not something you get with most channels, YouTube or Twitch, either one of them, and that makes it special. After a long many years of spotty uploads on YouTube, and especially after my last year or two, my recent rut, where I've felt personally, regardless of what you think, that it's been some of my least inspired years for videos and streaming, some of my most washed up years. I hope that, about now and next week and the initiative and the directions I'm going in now can be a new beginning for, just a beginning for you, me, and games. Because I really like doing it, and seeing people enjoy me doing this, and see people enjoy what I put out is honestly what makes it worth putting out, is what makes it worth doing. And it's hard to explain unless you've kind of been in this position, I guess, but, it'll sound dumb and it'll sound like a lie, but honestly, it really adds a whole new level of things, and it really is something I feel very lucky to be able to do, and it's just really great. Let's not heap any more adjectives and crap onto it. It's just really great. So, that'll do it for now. That's enough rambling. Put in your questions. I'll try to answer them when I can. Until next time, twitch.tv/BeagsandJam. Catch us there for Thursday Night XCOM next week if you're an XCOM fan. If you want to check out some PUBG Battlegrounds, if you're an Arma fan from before, trust me, it's very similar and I've been loving it for just that reason. Same thing, we're streaming that a lot lately. Other than that, hope you like what comes next. Until next time, thanks for watching, and please, have a good one.